And so, please, can you share more about those technologies you use in terms of, if you can, I don't know if it's confidential, probably you cannot. But another perspective I want to ask is, in the spirit of Oregon Tie and entrepreneurship we want to grow here, any insights on how you think we can, some of the new technology development, happening in Portland, what are your experiences? Is it a great place, or what are the challenges you see in terms of growing the talent base here?
So let me address the second question first, because I remember. Portland is an interesting place to start a company, to say the least. I don't know, over the past 7 years, we must have thought about moving to the Bay Area every other week. But it's a great place to live. I'm sure most of you are still here because I moved here. But one thing that helped us is part of our operations in Bangalore, India. That's been our proxy Silicon Valley. Pretty much every company that you want to meet is a couple of buildings away from where we are. So that's how we manage that. So we got the best of both worlds. Quality of living, but still make the connections necessary. From the technology perspective, there are lots of various pieces of technology. Especially when it comes to payments, you have the technology on the merchant side and on the consumer side. And often the set of stakeholders are very, very different. And that's part of the reason why payments takes time. I don't know if you remember when I mentioned the e-commerce revolution started in 1979 and eventually took 14 years for it to take off. We sort of pegged mobile to be 30% faster, so we expected about 9 years. So 7 are over, got 2 more years. So if I'm still here with iPhone brand on me 2 years from now, then we're good to go. So there are lots of technologies. Most of them are standards, by the way. There are lots of ISO standards. The radio standards, which is really what communicates at the merchant infrastructure, there is the ISO standard. And then from a security function perspective, in terms of loading your account information and so on, there is another ISO standard. They're all driven by smart card industry. So pretty much everything is standardized, all the way from magnetic tape of the old days to embossed cards to now the smart card. So if you're interested in knowing those standards names, I'm happy to tell them. If I tell them, it may not mean a bunch of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and 78, 16. If you can remember that, I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
Sure. So in that video, when the lady was tapping her phone, what was being read from the phone?
So what she was basically doing is this phone. This phone here has a MasterCard account loaded. There is our memory card inside here, and I can open it up and show you in a second. That's got a smart card chip embedded inside the memory card. That's IP that we built, and it speaks the ISO 12443 RFID standard, so you can go to a reader like this. Yeah. So what we've done is we built all of that into a memory card or an add-on form factor, so there is no control points for the mobile industry. While control points in the mobile industry is not a bad thing for the mobile industry, it's not a great thing for the financial industry. So that's where the big underlying fight. No different than when Microsoft Money and Intuit Quicken came up with internet banking. How many of you use Microsoft Money? How many of you used Microsoft Money? So, or Quicken, right? Mint is a slightly different issue. It helps you manage money after the fact. So that's really why we build a wallet solution for the banks to deliver, because over time, that's really what you and I as consumers want.
So will the bank provide the
initially, yes. But what we're doing is we've built our IP portfolio strong enough that we are in the process of licensing it to all memory card manufacturers. So the add-on cost is so negligible compared to the NAND flash and the memory card. We just want it to be in all memory cards. So it'll be there by default.
But who would buy them? I mean, the consumer that have to buy the
most phones come with a memory card, or most consumers buy memory cards after buying the phone. In fact, it's the largest revenue-making accessory for carriers or any device makers. I mean, any point where you buy a device, it's a $5 billion market just in the US. So
that makes you carrier.
it makes us carrier and device independent. So you just buy the memory card.
Thank you. That was a good question too, because it helped us understand it. So, next question is for Jeff. So, you kind of shared a lot of different types of QR codes for kind of different applications you were mentioning. Now, in terms of when we use these QR codes, for example, for location-based advertising and so on, like, are there any ways you can measure your success? Like, are there tools or metrics, or how do you validate that the initiative is a success? Any insight?
Well, as far as every